Welcome back to the Nerdiverse. I'm Danny,
I'm Chang.
and here we are to discuss, review Across the Spiderverse. So we've both watched the Across the Spiderverse film you've watched it yesterday. I watched it when was it? Thursday? Thursday, yeah. The only thing I want to say really quickly to everybody, we're not going to do spoilers yet, but we will talk spoilers later on. We will let you know once the spoiler starts. So for those that just want to listen to get a vibe of what it was like, stick around. I'll tell you when the spoilers come in so that people can exit if they want to exit for when the spoilers come in. Again, if you're not bothered about the spoilers or you've seen the film and you want to listen to the spoilers, then stay tuned. We're going to go into that in a bit. So what were your overall thoughts anyway, Chen? What did you think of the movie?
I was very surprised at how good it was. Considering how good the first one following up on that is really difficult, and I think they smashed it. I thought it was probably one of the best superhero films I've seen in a long time, if not ever. But yeah, I really enjoyed it. I thought it was a really good film, and I definitely recommend anyone to check it out if they enjoy Spider-Man or sort of animated films. What about you?
Yeah,
what did you think?
Oh mate, it was so good. So I actually watched the other one just before I went in as well because I wanted to watch like it back to back to get like a.
All right.
You what? Sorry.
Oh, I just said all right.
Yeah. So I watched it back to back. So I wanted to do that kind of. I just wanted to remind myself because it'd been so long, since the other one. I was like, wow, it's been so long. I mean, the good news is for everybody, there is one coming out next year as well. So yeah, I'm excited for that. But like this.
Oh, is it next year?
Yeah, next year. So we haven't got to wait a stupid amount of time like the other one because we had to wait ages. Was it 2019?
I think it was like 6 years or something, wasn't it? Was it?
Yeah,
I can't. 5 years or something.
I can't remember now, but yeah, really I like animated films anyway, and I like superhero films in general anyway. Like literally, I'll be watching The Flash in the next couple of weeks, so I can't wait for that. And that'll be a different kind of vibe again because it can be quite dark in DC compared to Marvel. But that's why I really enjoyed this film because I thought it was so good at hitting everything that you wanted out of a film in terms of like. It was a really well animated. Like the animation was ridiculously good, by the way. Fair play to the animators. How they even did that, I don't even know. The amount of stuff you're watching on it, and we'll go into more of the detail later when we get into the spoilers. Yeah. But like, my God, you all need to see the animation of this if you haven't already, because this is ridiculous. You think the first one's great, you wait till you see this one. Ridiculous. Yeah, sure. But the story was perfect. Like the acting in the was on display was just top in terms of you felt like real emotion went into everything that was said, and it was said with purpose.
The emotional like moments hit so hard as well.
Yeah, but like some animated films struggle with that because obviously it's animated, and it's not a real person that you can see. It sometimes gets really hard to get the emotion out. But like they did a really good job to like make you feel really emotional about characters that are animated, if that makes sense.
Yeah, definitely. There was definitely a moment in the film where I was like tearing up, and I was like, "What the fuck? How are they getting me?" So I thought it was.
It was a really good film, to be honest. So, for anybody that's not watched it yet, you need to go check this film out. It's a cinema film. You need to watch this at the cinema.
Definitely. You do. I definitely recommend watching it in the cinema.
And if you can, you don't mind spending the extra few bob, try and watch it in the IMAX as well, what's the other screen they call it? Oh my God. iSense is the other version and something like that. Whatever it is, whatever the bigger screen ones are called, because all cinemas call it slightly different, I suppose. Yeah. Try and watch it where the sound is absolutely like crisp and clean, and you've got your favourite cinema that you like to go and spend that extra bit of money. This is the one film that I would recommend spending just that little extra to get the better experience because it's worth it.
If there was any film that you wanted to sort of like go all out for this, like the cinema, I'd say this is the one.
I was so annoyed, by the way. There wasn't any special cups or anything. I was like, oh, thanks. I was hoping there'd be a special cup because they still had the Little Mermaid cups at mine. I don't know if they had it at yours, but there was just loads of Little Mermaid merch.
I didn't. We didn't get snacks or anything. We literally went straight into the film when we.
Fair enough. But yeah, so
yeah. Well, did you have any more thoughts before we go?
I don't think so because I'm actually itching to get into the spoiler stuff now. So for those that like, yeah, go and watch it. Go and watch it seriously.
Before that,
right?
though,
Yeah, go for it. Go on.
Out of 10, what would you give the film?
I gave it a straight 10. I did. I actually gave
really?
it a straight 10. Yeah, I've given it a 10 out of 10 because I can't fault any part. The only thing I can fault is that maybe it was slightly too long. Slightly. But like 10 minutes. 10 minutes too long, maybe. But
yeah, I can see that. Yeah.
But to be honest, though, like you've said, it's in terms of Marvel films, this is 100% in my top 5. 100%. Maybe it supersedes things like Infinity War. Maybe. It's very hard, though, to like... Ooh. It's very hard to put them against each other because Infinity War was just like, boom, it was mind-blowing. But it's up there. It's up there. Like it's not far from it.
I think it would be a 9 out of 10 for me.
Yeah?
I don't know. I can't really criticize it. It might go up to a 10 after watching the next film. But I feel like, yeah. I don't know. I can't think of a reason to like knock down points, but
in terms of Spider-Man, films, then where would you put it if it was just up against Spider-Man films?
Ooh. It'll either be first or second. No Way Home is the one it's sort of fighting with. I really love No Way Home, so yeah, it'd either be. I think it'd be second behind No Way Home for me, but I think it's probably a better film. But
interesting.
Yeah.
Right.
I have a lot of attachment to a lot of the things that happened in No Way Home to avoid spoilers. So.
Yeah, that's fair. Yeah. No, I get it. And it was very, like you said, to be honest, we've been quite lucky with Spider-Man films. I'd say the majority of them have been really good. Like, there's only
they've been
few
smashing it recently.
Yeah, there's only a few that I'd argue that are a bit, they're all right. But like the majority of, and only all right because some villains weren't done in the right way, in my opinion. Some of the villains were a bit weak.
I just hope Sony don't fuck anything up. Like, they've got a good thing going. But
yeah,
I'm questioning the direction they're going because did they release a trailer for the Hunter guy Craven film?
I don't know if the trailer's out for that, but it was the trailer for the game. Was the Hunter guy, the Craven, the Hunter is he's the trailer for the game.
Oh, it was the game, wasn't it?
Yeah. So, okay. but yeah, Craven the Hunter will be interesting as a film later this year. I'm interested.
I don't know why that's a standalone film though. See, that just feels weird to me. Like, I feel like Sony don't know what they're doing, like with live action. But
no,
yeah,
we'll see. That's
a different topic.
But anyway, ready? Spoiler alert. This is spoiler time.
Spoiler territory.
We're going into spoiler territory because I'm itching to say things, and I'm like, I was edging already, and I wanted to say it now as it is, like with what we've seen on screen. So we're going into spoilers now. For those that haven't watched it, go away, come back, maybe
go away.
maybe save this and come back after you've watched it and go, oh my god, it's amazing, or you know. So, but for those that have watched it, here we go. So, this film, I will say it again, was absolutely incredible. I mean, some of the cameos in this film for a start. If we start with cameos first.
Were fucking insane. Like,
oh my god, they were good. Oh, I mean, list them. They were endless. Do you know what I mean? We had elements of like where they were in Venom's world, so they had the woman from the shop there, so they went into that. They did. They had obviously the death of Ben for Tobey Maguire's Spider-Man. They had Garfield's. Yeah, they had Garfield's Gwen moment. Oh, mate, and then I mean, what the big one? What was the big one then? What was the big one for you out of the cameos?
For the big one for me, it was probably Aaron or the Prowler from the MCU. Because we see him in, I think it was like Spider-Man Homecoming.
Yes,
yeah. But like, you know, he's not the Prowler yet in that. He's just like a sort of street level like criminal, I think, or something. So it was really cool to see him in the film, like actually in the Prowler gear and everything. Like that just blew my mind when I saw it. I was just like, "What the fuck is happening? Oh my god, did they just do that?"
Yeah,
So
mate. It
I
was.
thought that was wicked.
There was just like we finally got to see the moment that a lot of comic fans will love as well. The moment where all the Spider-Men are literally there and they say, "Stop, Spider-Man," and they go, they all start pointing at each
That was
other.
so dumb. But I feel like they spoiled that. Didn't they do that in one of the trailers?
They did it
So
in the trailer, so we all knew
that's-
like, it was coming. But
this is why I
it's a bit
hate
of a
trailers,
shame.
man. They
Yeah,
ruin so
I
many
know.
good moments in the film because I would have been dying if I didn't already know that was coming.
I
But
know it was, but oh mate, and
what
villain
was yours,
wise,
by the way?
but you what? Sorry.
What was your big cameo that you
Oh, see,
like?
mine was just like mine was the Tobey Maguire and the Andrew Garfield kind of moments, just showing those off. We just like
I was
so,
really surprised though that they actually showed live action like in the
yes,
film.
that's what I
thought it was
mean.
done
Like
really well.
so, like for example, oh my god, talking of that, by the way, talking. This is why I thought the animation was on point for this film because even the Lego bit was so
Oh,
good.
the Lego bit was
so
brilliant.
good.
It was brilliant.
When they just went into that, and then when he goes bleep, 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 on the phone,
Yeah, that was really good. That got me when I was watching
like,
it.
but their ability to be able to animate from one style to the other to go back into it, I thought that was just so well done. Even like her world was very kind of paint, wasn't it? It was
That was
paint
what I was
kind of
gonna.
feel.
Yeah, that was literally what I was gonna bring up as soon as we went into spoiler territory. When you said like the art style or the animation and stuff, I was gonna say like it was bloody amazing how they looked at the different source materials of those worlds. So like, yeah, the Lego game or like Spider Gwen or like Spider Punk, I think his name is. And
Yes,
like when
yeah,
you
yeah,
see those universes, it changes the art style of the film completely. Like the animation and art style completely changes to like the comic book style. Like Spider Gwen is one of my favorite characters, and like her comics are one of the few I've read. And you know how, as you said, it was like quite paint and sort of like abstract sort of
yeah,
colors.
yeah, yeah.
That's what like the actual comic books are like. So it was really cool to see that like on the film when they're in her universe.
Well, that's what I mean. They did a great job. You know when they were all as a team. So, for example, the team bit where they're all in. I can't remember the Spider-Man's name now, but they're in like kind of the first world that they go into where like they're all the team of four, and it's got Spider Punk, it's got Gwen, and it's got Miles, and then the other guy I can't remember his name now though. Which
So the Indian
Spider-Man
one.
was it? Yeah, but that was really cool to see like the different styles again, all next to each other, like all in like Spider Punk obviously being in the punk, like he was in his punk style the whole time as well, which was cool. Like, I thought that was really, I just
His
thought it was
guitar
really
on his
cool.
back.
Oh man, and like it was just perfect to just. The animation in this film was top, and to be
Yeah, for
fair,
sure.
I don't know why I expected any less though. Because to be fair to Sony, the one thing they are good at is when you look at anime that they kind of own and they look after from a main studio point of view that they have their sub studios to look after. They do animate things really well. Because am I right in saying that I swear that Demon Slayer is that not owned by Sony in some way? I know it's not animated directly by them, but I swear they own it. I think in
I
terms of.
have no idea.
But when you look at like, yeah, well, either way, there's definitely anime out there that they kind of have their fingers in, if you know what I mean, in the pie, and they've always
Yeah.
been good at it. But this animation was ridiculous. It's like they spent an absolute ton of money on this.
Well, they
to
must
get
have, man. The amount of resources that they must have put into it just to like, get all the different styles of animators as well.
It was just the sheer number of Spider-Man that was on the show as well. Like the amount of them that were all on screen at one point was crazy.
It got too much though. It got to the point where there was too many that I couldn't really register like what was on the screen because I'm
Yeah,
like
it's one of
trying
those
to
where you
pick
take the
out like,
pause
all
button,
the
don't you?
different Spider-Man cameos. So
You need to hit like a pause button when you see it again.
I
on,
know,
on
I know.
Disney.
I can't wait until it comes out on like Blu-ray or something or on Disney Plus, so I can actually pause it and proper like deep dive into like all the cameos. But yeah, segueing off that, out of all the cameos, like what other ones did you notice that you really liked?
I'm trying to think now. I think we've talked about a lot of them that I did notice. I'm trying to see which ones. There was obviously the original. It was the original Spider-Man comic guy that turned up as well. Oh God. There was another one. Obviously, we had Stan Lee was in it again as usual. So he was in it, which was nice.
What was he doing in it? I can't remember.
Was he not the bookstore guy? Have I mixed that up with you? The film before now.
That was the first film that he was.
I mixed them up then, yeah.
But I swear someone said he was in this one, but I'm not sure if I missed it or.
Was he in this one?
He must have been, but I can't remember it.
But I like the T-Rex as well. It's cool seeing the T-Rex. T-Rex.
See, I'm not sure where that T-Rex is from. Like, I'm not sure if that's from like a comic or something, or I've seen like a really janky mod on Jurassic World Evolution of a stupid Spider-Man T-Rex mod skin. I'm not sure if it's referencing that or if it's a reference to like something that happened in the comics or something. So if anyone knows about that, let me know, because I'm super curious about that. Because I played a lot of Jurassic World Evolution and I noticed that mod and I was just like, what is this stupid thing? And I saw that in the film and I was just like dying. I was like, is that what I think it is?
I love Oscar Isaac, and I thought he played a great role as being the kind of semi-bad guy. But like he was doing my nutting. I hated that Spider-Man 2099. He was doing my nutting.
He was fucking badass though, man. I love the sound effect that it made when he was like, every time like he had his claws out and he was like tearing through stuff, he'd like do that sort of audio distortion. Yeah, it's like a sort of screeching or screaming sound. I thought that was so cool. But yeah, he was pretty frustrating in the film, but I'm interested to see where his character development goes.
I'm really interested to see about the villain. So the villain, I genuinely, when I saw him the first time at the start, because I don't know much about this villain, if I'm honest. I have no idea who this guy is. Yeah, the Spot. So, but I know that, like, when I first saw him, I thought, oh, he seems pretty funny. He's like a Deadpool kind of villain in terms of his humour. He's a bit like, humorous and all that sort of stuff. And then now he's turned into some mad super villain, like in terms of his power now. It's
multiverse
ridiculous.
Ending level villain.
Yeah, like
that was another thing of the film that I thought was done really well. They've managed to make a literally no name, well, as far as I'm aware, a no name sort of like, as they called him in the film, like villain of the day character. And they
turn him into an absolute
believably escalate him throughout the film into like an actual like threat.
A world problem, like a multiversal
threat,
yeah. It's just I thought that was really interesting to see how they managed to like turn that guy, like you said, he was like no threat whatsoever. He was just a guy that could just your hand might go somewhere else, but like it turned him into an absolute crazy power level now that he's got. But yeah, I'm really interested about his character in the next one, if I'm honest. Did you do the same as me, by the way? Did you watch the film and forget that there was a third one? Because I did.
Yeah, that's the thing. The film kept introducing like new characters and new villains. And I was just like, how are they just bringing in more and more characters? Like, how long has this film been going on for? Like, how are they going to wrap this up neatly? Because I completely forgot it was a two-parter. And I was just like, they've literally just introduced another universe. They introduced like the new Miles and Aaron. Or Prowler. Yeah. And like, I'm like, how are they introducing another set of villains? Like, how are they going to deal with all that? And then the film ends, and I'm just like, huh?
Yeah. When I heard that music, when they all came together as like a little team, didn't they, at the end? And I was like, they're cutting it here then.
I was so frustrated with that, but I'm happy because that just means they're going to carry on the story in a two-part. I feel like it's been a long time since we've had like an actual proper sequel movie, which is like an actual like direct follow-on, like from a cliffhanger.
I was saying this.
I feel like the last one was like either Endgame, Infinity War to Endgame, or like Lord of the Rings. Like,
that's exactly exactly the thing that I referenced to my mate the other day. I said to him, that felt like when I watched it, I felt like I hadn't had that experience since when I watched Lord of the Rings as a kid, watching Fellowship of the Ring, and then having to know that at the end of it, sitting there as a kid going, are you kidding me? I've got to wait for this next part. But know, right? Now sitting there knowing that I'm counting those hours, seconds, days to get it back in the cinema again for Two Towers. And then they did it again, of course, didn't they? And it had the same effect again for The Return of the King. But then, so that's why I rate this film so high, because it's one of those films where you go to watch most films, you know there's a sequel coming and you're kind of like, yeah, cool, I'm excited for the sequel. Like even all the Marvel stuff, I'm like, yeah, cool. I'm excited for more of it, but it's not like
I get what you mean.
it's not like I'm sitting here going, oh my god, I've just watched something and the story's not finished. I literally I need to know what's going to happen.
And like I feel like we're gonna get that when it gets to like Kang Dynasty and like Secret War and stuff, because those are gonna be like massive one. But I totally get what you mean. Are you sure it's next year that it comes out?
I swear it said 2024 March, but I might be wrong.
I hope so, because I can't wait like another 5 years.
In fact, while we here's a question for everybody, by the way, while I search this date. What cameos did you all notice? Get it in the chat now if you can. What cameos did you notice that maybe we haven't noticed? Because it'd be cool to see how many we can acquire and understand that were actually in that.
Yeah. Because segueing off that, like a few that I noticed that I really liked was I like that Scarlet Spider from the comics. Like actually had a big appearance because he was like sort of one of the main sort of antagonist Spider group, wasn't he?
Yes. Yeah.
And then I also noticed quite a lot of cameos from like the cartoons I watched as a kid. Like I think that was like the Spectacular Spider-Man from that series. It was like the slightly like childish looking one.
Yeah.
There was also like Spider-Man Unlimited. Did you ever watch that on like?
No, I didn't watch Spider-Man Unlimited. No, I didn't watch that one.
Because I swear I saw him as well at some point. I was like, is that him? Is that him? And then
I think
there was the one from the games as well. Like,
yes, the one from the games was in there. Yeah, when he was for a start, he was playing the game though. Did you notice he was playing?
Yeah, I did. I was like, is he playing the PS4 one, or is that playing like the old like GameCube one?
Yeah. But mate, it was. Oh right, here we go. Found the date for those that are interested. Here we go. So it's officially, unless obviously we have any more writers' strikes or anything like that could delay it. We are officially getting it on March 29th, 2024. So next year.
Oh, nice. That's not too far away then. It's early.
No. I'm assuming they filmed it then and animated it, and maybe they did most of it while they were doing this one to kind of get it majority done.
As it's like a two-parter, it's pretty much the same movie. So I'm guessing quite a lot of it was already...
I don't know if this is not a hard fact, by the way. This is rumour at the moment that I'm about to say. But Oscar Isaac has strongly suggested that he would love to see Pedro Pascal take up an animated character's role in the next one. So that would be really interesting to see if we get more of that lovely I know all of you out there are in love with the Pedro Pascal. He's turned into like the next Ryan Reynolds at the moment with the amount of people that are falling in love with Pedro Pascal at the moment. So hopefully we get the voice from him as a character next year. But what that does tell us though, so what Oscar Isaac is telling us there is we're going to get more no characters introduced next time is what would be really cool. So we are going to get more. It isn't just the cast that we've got at the moment then, so that's really cool. We're going to get some more.
I feel like we don't need to though. Like I feel like they've introduced quite a lot of the big.
You say that, but this is where I don't know whether my theory is. I still believe that they killed the spot off very quickly in the first half of the film, and the main bad is 2099 Spider-Man. But that's my only one side I'm thinking.
So I'm kind of thinking it's going to be the other way around. I feel like they're probably going to deal with Spider-Man 9. I can't remember what the date is.
2099, yeah.
Is it 2099?
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like they're going to probably deal with him, like either make up or decide to team up or beat him. And then they're going to have to deal with the spot and stuff. And then he'll probably come back later on to sort of redeem himself and like help them. Probably sacrifice himself.
That's my other theory, is that he dies saving Miles Morales at the very end, like of all of it. And then that's how he kind of, like you said, redeems himself. Maybe he just kind of,
yeah.
Like he charges at the spot at the very end, and then makes them both disappear into a complete like.
I don't know how they're going to beat the spot though. Like he just seems so powerful now.
It's weird, isn't it? Because like, I know Spider-Man's strong, but I'm like they're going against. And I know there's a lot of them, but you're going against a multiversal level
what the fuck
character here. No offense, Spider-Man, but you ain't exactly Thor. Do you know what I mean? Or Captain Marvel, like level power, or even Adam Warlock power. Like you're not these kind of power levels. And I feel like that's who they're up against.
Apparently, Spider-Man is one of the strongest characters, like in the comic books. I don't know how, but apparently he's sort of on that level.
Well, I suppose when you think about it, his abilities he's got, obviously, when he gets that tingling sensation, obviously it means he knows exactly when danger's about to happen. So he can sense it before it's about to happen. and we saw real evidence of that in loads of the Spider-Man films, but more probably the one where he realised really quickly that in the last one, the last Spider-Man live action film with Tom Holland, he noticed really quickly that that clearly Willem Dafoe's character was starting to be evil again. So he noticed that before anybody else did.
That scene was so good.
That was really good, that scene. But like, so maybe that's, when you think about it, that's a pretty cool ability to have, because he can kind of prepare himself for
sure.
it. So he kind of sees the future a little bit, not sees the future, but you know what I mean? Like he's able to predict and then maybe make a decision what he does.
But yeah, moving on from that, I guess. So who was your sort of favourite character in the movie?
I always want to say it's Miles Morales' character. I feel like there was some really good development with him in terms of he finally became the adult, well, not adult, but you know what I mean. He started to become a bit more like mature Spider-Man now, and he's starting to be the true Spider-Man. Everybody seems to have lost their way a little bit, or were losing their way in terms of like being convinced by 2099 Spider-Man that no, Ben has to die, Gwen has to die, someone in Spider-Man's life has to die.
But it's the dilemma though, isn't it? It's like the greater good. Like,
now,
would you sacrifice like one for like 1,000 or something like that?
My only concern with that in it is, now I'm about to really probably upset you now, Chen, because I'm going to make a prediction that might actually happen in the next film. So my prediction is that if he does have to lose someone that's close to him, because that's what happens to every Spider-Man character, right? Someone always has to. It's going to be Gwen, and he's going to lose Gwen.
That was my prediction exactly as well, because they made it a big point to emphasize like every Gwen that Spider-Man falls in love with has died, and I'm just like, please no, don't do this to me.
They could do it the other way though. They could kill Miles Morales off, and then you're like, because here's the interesting thing though. But actually, could he escape all of that fate? Because he is technically, as much as they abused him on it, he's an anomaly. So he's actually, does he not fall part of the theory? Like, because actually he is the anomaly in this. So I don't know. So yeah, really interested to see how that one's going to play out. But yeah, but I thought he had a great development. I thought Gwen's development was really strong, because I was starting to get annoyed with her that she was hiding all these things from Miles all that time. But then you start to see that she's building into, at the very end, she's built now kind of like, well, screw 2099, I'm going to help you out. So that I liked that build as well, to kind of understand that she understood that her father didn't have to be sacrificed. He's no longer the captain, if you know what I mean. He wasn't going to be the captain. So actually, she sees that there is a way to change the fate of what's going to happen. But that's why it led me stronger to she's going to die. Because if he's not died, does that mean she dies for Miles's kind of story? If you know what I mean. So it's like, oh god.
Yeah, I can definitely see it happening.
Yeah,
it's, don't want to though.
I know,
because she was my favorite character in this film. I loved how half of the film felt like it was her film as well. Like, it didn't feel like it was completely Miles's film. Like I think like the first like 15 minutes of the film or so was pretty much just all her, right? Like,
it was. Well, I thought it was when it started that way. I thought, oh wow, okay, so the first one was about Miles. This one's going to be about Gwen, maybe, but. Yeah, then it started to turn back into Miles later on, didn't it? And then they like you said, they shared the film. I felt like this one.
Yeah, I did really like her character development in this, and just the art style of her in general, and like her world, I thought looked incredible and was quite true to the comic books.
And one of my other favourite characters that I think has had some, he's a side character, but he's had such a good, unique build, is the other Spider-Man that was like the one that he was with in the first film that was kind of his coach, but wasn't really a good coach. But like
actual Spider-Man, like
Peter
I thought, was it?
I thought he had such a good development in terms of like Miles helped him out so much in the first one that kind of changed his mind to go back and get on with his life. He's got a kid. Yeah. It was a cool.
It's nice to see that he fixed his relationship with MJ, because like the whole point was like they got divorced in the first one, didn't they?
Yes, yeah.
So
it was really cool to see. He went back and fixed it, and then he's also now seeing that. Do you know what? No, I'm not going to listen to this 2099. I'm going to join and help as well.
Yeah, exactly.
So I thought it was a good build.
God, that moment in the Spider-Gwen story where she finally sort of reconciles with her father. Like that had me like tearing up. Like I've not really like teared up in films before, but like that moment like hit me. Like,
I'm glad they did that because he
so
was
well.
annoying me, man. That scene early on really got on my nerves.
That scene was heartbreaking though. Like, because yeah, she finally reveals the secret, and yeah, you always hope that they'll be accepting, but then just like to see like the outright sort of rejection, like it was just heartbreaking to watch.
Yeah,
So
it was.
I thought those scenes were done really well. And speaking of which, like when Miles like finally musters up the courage and like the absolute heartbreak of realizing that he's not in the universe and like that's not his mom.
I
Oh my
know.
god, man. That was just like, oh shit, damn. He finally had the courage to like sort of like reveal who he is. And yeah, it just ended up being nothing.
I know. So, and that questions the next bit. Will he ever reveal it again? Because like,
Mm.
is he
I,
just going to
I
hold
feel
back
like
on
he will. I
revealing?
feel like he's had the courage now to do it, so I think he'll be more open to do it. But I guess the whole question is, will they be able to save his dad? Or
Someone's
because that was
dying.
the whole thing,
Look,
isn't it?
factually, in every Spider-Man story, someone dies.
Is it going to be Gwen or is it going to be the dad? That's the big question.
Well, it's either Gwen, Dad, or the mum. We're forgetting the mum. Like that could hit us like a train out of nowhere. It could be the mum that goes instead out of
Mm,
all of them.
that's the point. I feel
I
like it
mean,
might be
mate,
Peter.
that'd
Like,
be it. Nah, he's got a kid. Surely not. That'd be
yeah, but
horrible.
that'd be the thing though. He'd die and leave MJ alone with the kid. Like, I feel like they might
Then
get
we'd,
that handled.
then we'd have a baby Spider-Man that'd want to kill Miles Morales later on in the future because he'd be wanting revenge.
God, please no.
But
But
yeah, really loved it. I don't know if there's much more I've got to say on it. To be fair, I really enjoyed it. But
yeah, I
yeah,
don't think I've got much else that I can think of right now to discuss. But yeah, I thought it was an amazing film. It's one of the
yeah,
best films I've watched in a long
literally,
time.
like I
So
came out of it going, "How have I not watched this film twice?" Like, because like, even though I know it just came out, but like it was very good. So let us know in the comments what you thought. It'd be really interesting to see what everybody else thought of the film. Let us know your ratings if you want to, out of 5 or 10, whichever one it is. Give us a bit of explanation on why you've gone for that. It'd be really cool. It'd be really cool for us to read some of it and then respond to them when we can get a chance as well. So yeah, hopefully you enjoyed it as much as we did.
yeah, for
It
sure.
was definitely one of the better films this year so far, which is good. So
Definitely,
thanks for
definitely.
tuning in. We will see you for whatever film we review next, but we'll be back to normal from today, posting our reactions to a load of stuff that we're doing at the moment. So come and check us out on those as well if you have not already. So thanks for tuning in, and we'll see you soon.
Cheers, guys. Bye.